Hello, everybody. Hi. Been stuck on the A3 this morning, but okay now. So, can somebody just give me a quick shout out to say that you can hear me because I'm not using the big microphone this time. Matt's tired, but all good, mate. Yeah, well, living the dream, mate, aren't we? Working money, working money. So, anyone hear me? You can hear me. I'm getting a little thing on the old YouTube. It's saying you can pick me up. Cheers, Tim. Thanks, pal. So yeah, welcome to the summer Q&A session on YouTube, guys. So I thought I'd not done one in a while. I don't think I've done one since the winter. So I've been busy working with sort of Tim and some of the other guys on here on the UKDiver Patreon site. So if you don't know already, I guess you do because you're going to be the guys that follow me really closely. I've set up a Patreon site and we're doing kind of online club nights and online VIP nights and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, sorry about no live streams on YouTube. I did say last time that they would thin out a little bit because they're a little bit weird, and I prefer sort of an interaction between you guys kind of live. The chat's okay, but it is a little bit weird trying to read this and talk to you at the same time. So I thought I'd do a quick Q&A session for the guys who, for whatever reason, can't make it on to Patreon. So I had a few questions. First question from my friend Lola Burt, who my good friend Kerry. She said, "Can she ask me any question?" Yes, of course. You can ask me any question. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer it. I didn't promise that, but you can ask any question. So that's not too bad. The second question I got for us from Chris is, "What's my name?" Andy. That's my name. So I don't know how genuine that question was. The only genuine question I've got is from Matt, who is Scuba Life on here, who asked me a very interesting question, and I have been debating it with the wife for the last 2 days. And his question was slightly odd, but rather interesting. Of if I could be either a cuttlefish or a dolphin, which one would I be? And I've got to be honest, my initial reaction was cuttlefish because, well, dolphins are boring, aren't they? I honestly don't know. I can hear sucks of teeth already. But yeah, the dolphins are kind of like off the go, and that's kind of it. So I'm much more. I think cuttlefish are just much more fun. You know, they can change color, they can change the shape to a certain degree as well. Probably not quite as good as octopus, but yeah. And then I watched that thing on the BBC. Uh, has everybody been watching that Spy in the Ocean on the BBC? Now I've been watching it on iPlayer because I don't have live TV. But stick a yes down in the chat if you've been watching that, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Bee were making these like creepy weirdo robots, and they just, so they're making them to look like things, look like things in the ocean. So there's an octopus one, they've got like a baby whale one, they've got loads, and they're sort of dropping them in the environment and capturing, behavior. And they did one for cuttlefish. They've also done one for dolphins. Okay, so but the cuttlefish one was kind of in the program. I don't it just seemed the cuttlefish one seemed to turn into a bit of a sex doll. I've got to be honest. So, so I was kind of thinking, so do I want to be a cuttlefish? Do I want to be the animal that the BBC is making sex toys for? And I've got to be honest, that's kind of put me off. So in answer to that one, Matt, I'm just going through some. You would be the dolphin because they are fast. That's true. And on that sort of one of the same episodes, I think it was on one of those things, they also go surfing, don't they? You've seen it where they surf in the surf. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. In the surf near the shore, they sort of whip in and out, and that looked good fun. I've got to be honest with you, where the cuttlefish did just seem to be sex mad, so they didn't seem to do anything like that. So yeah, I've really torn, mate. I've got to be honest. I don't know. I think it depends. If I'm probably feeling a bit energetic, I'll probably be a dolphin. If I want to hide in the weed and change my shape, maybe a cuttlefish. I don't know. Yeah, on the fence on that one. Everybody in here, come on, same question to you guys. So we know Matt's going to be a dolphin. I'm leaning towards cuttlefish. So what are you guys leaning towards? Cuttlefish or dolphin? What do you want to be? It's a weird one, isn't it? Weird question. So, no more questions. So, if there's any more questions that you've got, then do type them out in the comments, and I will answer them. But so Tim's going to be a cuttlefish. Yeah, same, mate. Yeah, I just they're just cool, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And you can hang around and get some good photos of them and a good video and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, tough call, tough call, tough call. So, if you've not seen, I did a review of the VX1, no, the VX2 mask yesterday, and I had some interesting feedback off that, to be honest with you. I've had another brand, so surprisingly, because I thought I was honest and fair. So in the Apex review. However, other people have said I'm probably not going to get a Christmas card off Apex, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I really am because I honestly think the guys are taking the piss with the pricing now. They really, really are. And it was it's just a phenomenal amount of money for not a great product in my view. It's a good product. It looks nice. It looks snazzy, but the box is deal breaker. And the nose pocket's a deal breaker as well. But rather surprisingly, and check this out, I had another manufacturer that shall remain nameless email me kind of within an hour of that review going out saying, we do a mask. It's kind of diagonally opposite to the Apex mask, which I'm assuming they mean like good quality but good value at the same time. Ask if I'd want to review some of their stuff. So that was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because you wouldn't imagine you get that response off manufacturers, would you? So, yeah, interesting. So I've sent them an email back. I've said yes, I would, love to have a play with some of your stuff. It's not a brand it's just trying to crack the UK, but it's very big in Europe. And have had a look at their stuff. The club owns some of their stuff, and it really is quite good quality. It's not what I would call budget by any shape or form. It's quite pricey gear, but it looks really good and some quite innovative ideas as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what they do. If he doesn't send me any stuff now, then I will name and shame, because this is the second time they've actually sort of reached out and said, yeah, we'll send you some stuff. So, if you're watching this, you know who you are, then you better respond to that email, because I did send it this morning. And yeah, I'm happy to do it again. With me, guys, I don't make any money. Like I say, my good friend Ian, I don't know if Warm Apple's on it. Are you on it, Ian, today? If you are, make yourself known down in the comments. But he's probably too shy, because I did call him a chump and I did call him gullible, which I don't kind of mean like seriously. I just think he's a prat for paying that much money for a mask. And I did tell him I was on it. I did say, as you're bonkers if you pay that. But he just loves it. He just loves it. And like Ian would say, he will look cooler around town than me in his dive gear. So there's absolutely no doubt about that. So I just thought it was really interesting, because I thought I was pretty brutal with that, to be honest with you. Probably more honest than a lot of the other channels would be. But you're always going to get with me, guys. There's no glitter. I don't sugarcoat anything. It's spade's a spade. Do you know what I mean? I either like it or don't like it. Nothing's perfect. When I do a review, nothing's perfect. There's always good, there's always bad. And there are some things I've been sent to review, guys, that you just haven't seen, because there's nothing good I can say about them. So I'm not going to just be negative and say, oh, it's just rubbish. Okay, the Apex mask is a sexy looking mask. It absolutely is. It's got some good points to it. The price is rubbish. The box is rubbish. The way they try and fake being green with it is particularly rubbish. And if they're a bit more honest about it, I would personally feel a bit better about it. But there's some good points to it. Do you know what I mean? It's a good looking mask. It's definitely a well built mask. But yeah, I don't just say no. It's crap. It's crap. So I don't like that. So anyway, be interesting to see whether this company, like I say, she'll remain nameless for the moment, sends me some stuff. I have said that I'm off to South Africa, which I'm off to in how many days? 54 days. 54 days, guys. I'm very excited. Yeah, quite excited about South Africa. But I said, well, it'd be good. I've got plenty of time to go diving, nice and relaxed, even with the sharks. And they get to see their kit, you know, with shark background, which is always cool, isn't it? So we'll see, we'll see. I hope they do. I hope they do. I've also had land a little box in the corner that I've been working with another well-known company in the UK on, specifically do the Horizon. Again, if you've been following me on the socials, or we've been having a chat, you'll know what that is in the corner. But the final version's here now. That's this. So I've got to produce a video tomorrow about how to assemble it and put it together and all that kind of jazz, and that makes sense to you when you see it. And that's a paid for video. The company's paying me to do that video, in goodies. I got a free one. So I'm quite excited about that, to get that sort of project done and finished. And again, you know, just working with a well-known and respected dive brand in the UK is very exciting, and I've quite enjoyed it. And you know, more than anything, I got what I wanted out of it, because frankly, I don't care if anybody else gets one. I've got one, and that's all I wanted. So it's been quite nice as well. So anyway, let's go through some of the programs. Matt says, yes, it is a cool program. It is, mate. I'm quite enjoying it. I think also there's a little bit of what was I going to say about the wildlife program? It's kind of, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? Because they're trying, almost like the Beaver, they're trying to give the impression that these robots are doing all the recording. And it's kind of like, well, who's there videoing the robots doing the videoing? Do you know what I mean? So there's, you know what I mean? There's camera people down there as well. And again, if you look at the credits on the Beaver thing, there's quite a lot of, there's a lot of names there doing the camera work kind of thing. But I do think it's good. The only thing I'd say about the BBC is David Tennant doing it. Now, I don't really know David Tennant apart from he was Doctor Who, wasn't it, when I used to watch Doctor Who. So it's a bit weird for me having Doctor Who narrating it. They need to pay whatever Sky's paying Attenborough to get it back, because it's just the voice. I mean, let's be honest, okay? We've got AI now. So when David Attenborough finally, hope it now happens in my lifetime, but when he finally passes away, because the guy's like 90 odd now, 90 plus, I think. We should have a bank holiday. Like if the Queen got one, David Attenborough definitely. We should have a bank holiday weekend, because like talk about like not even national treasure but international treasure. We should we should do. You know, we should definitely black armband, day off. You know, proper day of mourning, state funeral for that boy. Absolutely, 100%. But at least we can fake with AI's voice now. So I think all nature programs should now be voiced by David Attenborough, dead or alive, forevermore, because they'd be more genuine for me. So, what do you think about that? Comments down below. So anyway, yeah, it's a cool program. Tim Shot, cool fish. Ellen, how are you, Ellen? You all right, mate? Um, Ellen, another one of my VIPs here. Good friend, met her and her partner at the dive show. We had a good chat, and I know she's just like my wife. We're having a bit of a giggle the other day on the VIPs, weren't we, Ellen? Because she's a lady, so obviously everything has to colour match, just like my wife. And we were taking the mick out of my wife a little bit, or I was anyway, because just a quick story. So my camera rig, I've got the TG6, which comes in the black and red housing. So she bought me a camera tray for it, and she bought me the We Find one, which has got the option of different coloured O-rings for the grips. So I had the red ones. Then I got a red bungee lanyard, and then she bought me a red, camera handle to go with it. So it's all black and red. It's very coordinated. And then they made the cardinal sin the other week of buying some Nauticam floaty arms. Well, of course, Nauticam, if you know, they've got like a sky blue accent. So it just completely ruined it. So I thought to balance it, I'd swap out the O-rings on the handles from the red ones to the blue ones that match. So it's now black, red, and blue. And honest to God, I thought she was going to stroke out. But anyway, never mind, she survived. But yeah, Ellen totally gets that. And she's very color coordinated, so we're having a little laugh about that as well. So Ellen would be a cuttlefish. Where did I film the John Dory? Which John Dory are we on about, Tim? Is that the John Dory from the Malta video? And left it in the bucket. You're gonna have to explain it to me, Tim. I'm confused. I've only met two John Dory in my diving life. I filmed one down in Swanage. a lot of years ago now, mate. And then the other one I met was in Malta, um, Blue Grotto, where the Umel Farouk is. Yeah, he was swimming around there. So they're the only two. So they're the only two. So whichever one you're on about, that was where they are. One was in Swanage. Owen, hello, Owen. How are me, my friend? Have I ever dived in Northern Ireland? Good company there called Aquaholics. They have their own accommodation as well and a boat with a lift. Well, every boat should have a lift, Owen. Okay, that is not a selling point because every boat should have a lift. Certainly in the UK, Ireland, or anywhere else that's bloody green one, you got to dive in a dry suit. And the only reason I say that, I'm not having a pop at you, mate, is because I did have a little bit of a tete-a-tete with somebody in the dive industry who's running our boat without a lift, which seems to me crazy. But anyway, I'm not dwelling on that anymore. No, I've not dove in Northern Ireland, mate. It is. Oh, is it on my bucket list? No, frankly, I've got to be honest. No, mate. It's Northern Ireland is not somewhere I've thought about. To be fair, I know a lot of people go and dive Ireland because I know you have got a fabulous set of wrecks out there, haven't you? And not only wrecks, it's a lot of the deep stuff. So I know a lot of my scuba diving colleagues, friends, and people I know, especially the CCR lot, get very excited about going over to Northern Ireland, go and dive super deep and do some of them really sort of super deep wrecks. Again, not really my thing. So I'm to be convinced otherwise, mate. If you've got some spectacular underwater something or other that you can tell me about, drop me a message, info@ukdiver.co.uk. And yeah, that's it. But the only time I hear about people saying about going to island diving is it Malin? Have I got that right? They're doing Malin and they're doing like 60, 70, 80 meters. And then, don't get me wrong, they're seeing some absolutely fantastic wrecks there. And if you are a recce, I understand and you totally get that it's on the bucket list. But not being a recce, I don't think it's on my bucket list. So, but I'm to be convinced. Yeah, if you can give me a reason why I need to come over, maybe an invite, that'd be all right. And yeah, I'm definitely up for that. And it's always good to have recommendations as well. So there we are, guys. If you are in Northern Ireland, then Owen recommends Aquaholics, and why wouldn't you if they're a good outfit? Matt, yeah, I thought the same. There must be one the Spyro, but well, yeah, I don't know. Some of them, I think. I mean, like little octopus, you would imagine he's quite easy to make, but some of them, Matt, they look quite sort of complex, don't they? They look quite expensive. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether they've got more than one, but I think there's definitely a cameraman slash woman, camera person, I probably should say nowadays, is yeah. I definitely think there's somebody down there with a decent camera taking footage of it. But it is fantastic. But yeah, they need to get David out of doing it. That's it. That's in my old YouTube intro. Oh, that's where you spotted, is it, Tim? Yeah, I think that's the one from. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and have a look. It's one of the two, mate. I think in the old YouTube intro because I do like focusing on UK diving. It's what I love. Don't get me wrong, I like holiday diving, but I love UK diving. So it probably would have been the one from Swanage, mate. Yeah, definitely. If it was green water behind it, it's Swanage. If it was blue water, white sand, that was Malta. So yeah, that's what it is. Owen, yeah, I remember. That's why. Okay, so yeah, so you obviously watched the previous live stream where I was having a bit of a rant because I got into a bit of an argument with somebody about about a dive boat, and I still think I'm right. So it's I don't know, and I have no idea how they're doing, and I hope they're doing all right. I hope they're doing all right. It is a bit of a bit of the UK I'd like to explore on a hard boat. It would be nice, but I don't go up ladders with like side slung bottles and the rebreather and that kind of thing. I'm just not doing it. So there we are. Jurassic Diver, hello mate. So Jurassic Diver, my friend Wayne seems to be my very good friend Wayne because I'm off to see him on Saturday morning. We're going. I've finally been persuaded to get my ass down south to go and do Vobster. So we're going to do that, aren't we, mate? You're going to take me on a guided tour, and it's going to be the best guided tour ever. It better be. That's what I'm saying. No, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Just to let you know, Wayne, that Tim did get back to me on the drone footage, and unfortunately, the answers are no. So we won't be bothering with that on the day. But bring the big camera, and we'll go and have a play anyway. I'm very much looking forward to it. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably drop you a message Friday night when we're on the way down. Unfortunately, I'm on some boring work course this week. I have to be careful with what I say because we were talking about introducing yourselves and what you do. So a lot of them subscribe to the channel today. So do you know what? It wasn't that boring. It's quite useful. I'm backtracking, back rowing now, back rowing. But no, it's really good. We were doing something called Insights. Where you become a colour. I don't know if any of you guys have done this kind of thing, but you answer this like sort of psychometric questionnaire, and it gives you your personality, and you get 25 questions, and it's horrifyingly accurate. Just terrible. So it's been fascinating from that point of view, but I think we're getting more onto the how the disciplinary process works and all that kind of snore jazz, but meeting some cracking people from around the business. So um you're orange. There's no orange Jurassic Diver. Are you a mix of red and yellow? Yeah, I'm very red, which we'll talk about. It's a bit boring. I'm not talking about HR, but it's not a surprise apparently to everybody. Only me. So yeah. So anyway, Friday it's going to be a late one for me, mate. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of work till 4 o'clock ish. So, and I think it's about four and a bit hours down there. So, but I will see you Saturday morning. I'll drop you a message. So, and if anybody else is here and is down south and can make it to Vobster on Saturday, it'd be great to see you. So that's where I am. Finch, hello, mate. Hi, Andy. Nearly halfway through my ocean diver training. Congratulations to you, mate. Well done. Any tips for buoyancy trim as I was a beginner? Yes. Okay. Yes. Practice. Okay. Now I know your instructor will have said this. Okay. And it's a bit of a mantra. And when I first started teaching, I hated it. Okay. But it's true. It's practice, practice, practice. If your club's got a pool, mate, even if you're not being taught, get in there and practice. Because if your pool's, 1.2 meters, 2 meters, and you can keep your stomach, your whichever your lowest bit is, okay. For me, even though I've lost a lot of weight, it's still belly. If you can keep that an inch off the floor, yeah, at all times while you're still, okay, you've cracked it. Because if you can do it in 1.2 or 2 meters in the pool, at 20 meters, you're going to be absolutely golden. Okay, check your weighting, do a proper weight check all the time, a proper weight check, yeah. Because if you're not doing a proper weight check, you just don't know where you're going to be. Overweighting is the worst thing you can do for yourself. Okay, now I know it's it seems like a pain in the butt to do, and it seems a bit like old school, but it's not. It's all right. I'm just looking at the cat. She's bugger for bringing mice and stuff in. She seems a bit interested in something, but I don't think it's anything alive, so that's good. Anyway, sorry, back to it. Yeah, overweighting is the worst thing you do for yourself, mate. So, so make sure you do a proper weight check, and make sure that you're right, and then practice, practice, practice. Okay, your pool is where you get it sorted. I learned buoyancy in the pool. I didn't learn buoyancy out in the wilds. I then perfected buoyancy out in the wilds, and again, weight check. If you change something, do a weight check. If you change the undersuit, do a weight check. Yeah. It doesn't mean you got to lose out on a dive. Just do the weight check at the end of the dive to make sure you've got your weighting right. Okay. Can't emphasize that enough. Weight checks are really important. So yeah, do it. Okay. Absolutely do it. Sorry, just another follow up from Finch here. Jurassic Diver, you're pummeling me. 1 second, I'll get to yours. Rebuoyancy, cheers. Struggling at the moment with breath control, inhales, exhales, pulling me up or down a meter, etc. And it's going to, mate. It's going to. Yeah, when you first start, nerves is going to take over. Yeah, and you're going to be like, you've got to learn. Like, where are you now? Okay, where are you right now, Finch? Type it in. Are you sat on a sofa? You're sat on a chair watching me? Where are you? Come on, 10 seconds. Type it in. Laid in bed, whatever, unless you're like, sat in a chair watching you, okay? Now, just have a think about a second now. Are you breathing? Yeah? Relaxed, calm, little shallow breaths. That is the breathing you want to be doing in the pool. If you are doing more than that, you need to take care of yourself, get hold of yourself, give yourself a little shake, yeah? calm the down. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, because it's your breath control. Now you've got what, 6 kilos worth of positive or negative buoyancy in your lungs, depending on what you're doing with it. Okay, and you need to be shallow breathing. So if your breathing's be difficulty, fin pivot. Yeah, get yourself on a fin pivot, get yourself to 45 degrees, and stay there. Yeah, not this. Okay, start off doing this, get your rhythm in place. Yeah, but then bring it down until you stop. Yeah, that's your breathing. How it should do, mate. Yeah, so best bit of advice I can do: get in the water, practice the skills. Okay, once you've got your fin pivot there, then it's just a case. I'm gonna have to flip my hand up here and be really spazzy like that. Then bring your legs up, so you're in trim. So breathing first, then get your trim. Okay, so Jurassic Dive's been pummeling me with information. Yes, we are. Yeah, it is a shame about the drone flight, but I totally get Tim's reasoning for it. They've got a general ban on flying drones over the site while it's open at the weekend. So, I do totally get it. And to make an exception for me is not really fair, is it? So, it's a shame, but it's just the way it is, and I'm not going to um, violate their wishes. To be honest with you, I don't need permission to overfly it as it is. The law doesn't stop me from overflying it. They don't own the air above their land, so you can overfly it. But I'm not going to, because that would be a bit of a dick move. Because asking permission, then getting told no, and then saying screw it, I'll do it anyway, is a bit of a dick move. I can be a dick in various ways, but I'm not going to be that kind of dick. So it's fine. It's what it is. I watch your videos, mate. There's plenty to see under there. We should do a good, fun video. We're going to have a good day. Do I ever get nervous on my way to a dive site? With regards to the diving, no. I'm not a fabulous traveler, as in, well, what do I mean? How do I explain that? I get stressed about travel because I want everything to go smooth, and I don't want to miss things, and I don't want to, I'm not one of these blasé, like my son, you see, he just gets on the train and ends up where he is when he's there, and then he's very relaxed about it. Mine has to be planned with military precision, do you know what I mean? And if the slightest thing goes wrong, I get stressed. But I don't get stressed about the diving or the dive site. Um, if I'm on a boat, and me and Ian were talking about this the other day, was I always use air faster on the first dive, just because it's normally me that's organising, to be honest. And it's not my stress. It's not stress about me. It's stress about making sure everybody else is getting in, because I want them to have a good trip, because I've organised it and I've got that sort of sense of responsibility. Fourth dive of the weekend, I'm literally comatose. You know what I mean? Laid flat back, don't care. I've normally lost the will to live, to be honest with you, with dealing with everybody's shit by then. So it's just leave them to it. So yeah, it's interesting, but I don't think I've ever got nervous driving to a dive site. So like driving down to you on Friday, apart from traffic issues, which will stress me out because I'm a really terrible driver as well. Um, yeah, just I don't get too road ragey, but you know what I mean. Yeah, no, I don't get that nervous on the way to the dive site. What's my opinion on solo diving? Um, that's an interesting one, because that's probably one I should pass on, to be honest with you. You shouldn't do it, is what I should say. I do though. I think that you become a level. You get to a certain level and you die. And I don't mean this to sound elitist or too much of a dick, but um, I do agree. If you're an instructor, you are effectively solo diving, because the chances are, if something goes wrong, what's your student going to do? Brand new ocean diver, look like Mr. Finch here, first time in open water. If something goes wrong, chances are he's not going to know what to do. So you kind of got to look after yourself anyway, which kind of means you're solo diving. The best you're going to have is your student bolting into the water and screaming at somebody saying there's a problem down there. By the time everyone's got down to you, you're probably going to be dead by then anyway. So I do agree with that point of view. I quite enjoy solo diving, for the fact that I've just not got anybody else to worry about. Do you know what I mean? And again, I think that comes from teaching such a lot. So you've always, got that person that you're worried about, where if you're just on your own, I think it's nice. I think if you've got a camera and you are into sort of macro photography or something like that, it's better solo diving because it's boring as shit for the guy who's like buddy if you go with a buddy. And the other thing is they tend to cruise around and basically just kick the shit up while you're trying to thing. So not only are they bored, you're getting pissed off with them as well. I do apologise. I think I'm swearing quite a lot here, but I shouldn't be. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's from that point of view, it is sometimes better. And I know when I've been on photography boats, so like if you go to Kinloch Burvey, the times I've been on there, I've always landed with a lot of underwater photographers, and they pretty much all solo dive. Now, I do say I do it. I don't think it's as terrible as some of the agencies make it be. If you're new or you're even medium, you should always dive with a buddy. Okay. If you are doing anything where you may penetrate somewhere, a wreck, a cavern, or anything like that, you should have a buddy. If you're diving solo, you should be competent, be practiced, and experienced in using a bailout system, whether that be twins, whether it be a pony, whether it be a deco stage. Okay, you must have an alternate air source in case your primary goes tits up. So I haven't got an issue with it personally, but there are some caveats. You know, if you are going anywhere near pointy wreckage, you need a buddy, because if you get hung up, you know, you need someone there to bail you out, kind of thing. If you're sat on a reef in 13 meters with not much current videoing wolffish, you know, have a little stage, that's fine. You know, you're in minimum risk. Okay. So you need to really have a look at what risk you're putting yourself in. The other thing you need to do is make sure you and your significant other understands and appreciate the risks, okay, associated with solo diving, because there's no one to blame but yourself. You know what I mean? And there's no one there. So you've got to, you know, be conscious and consciously accept that, you know, and say, well, if something goes wrong, it's absolutely my bad. But yeah, I think for people who teach a lot, I think it's a breath of fresh air to suddenly not have responsibility. And I think in certain circumstances, if you're sizzles, sorry, my cat is being the other cat being a pain in the butt. So the wife's sorting. But yeah, I do think there's a place for it personally, and I don't get upset about it, and I do it. You know, especially again, if you can't get a buddy and you want to go on a trip, as long as the trip fits that kind of criteria of being as safe as it possibly can, independent air source, off you go. You know, that's all good. If I'm doing like, you know, 45, 50 meters open circuit and we're doing a wreck that, like, no, then I'll definitely have a buddy. So that's my take on it. I'm not sure everybody, in fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't agree with that. And Finch, if you listen to this is not for you yet. All right, you definitely take yourself a buddy all the time. And when you've been doing it 5 or 6 years, then, you know, we will come and speak about it again and you'll be absolutely fine. So Finch, yeah, it makes sense. Definitely don't breathe like that when I'm in the pool at the minute. Yeah, try. Okay, it should be, you know, scuba diving should be a relaxing thing. It's not always by the time you got down to the water's edge. I don't know if you've done any of the open water yet, mate. Have you been to Capernwray or anything like that? Because, you know, by the time you've got your kit down to the water's edge, you can be quite knackered. So I totally understand. But you know, what do? Take a breather. Don't jump in while you're towing out your arse. So I just want to go back up because I think, did I see something? Oh, Ellen, yeah. Are you planning a Capernwray dive at some point? Me and my partner would like to join you for a Capers dive or anywhere else at some point. Yes, always diving Capernwray, Ellen. Always up there. I'm smack geography on the map. I'm smack in between time wise Capernwray and Stony. My preferred dive site, controversially maybe, is Capernwray. I just think it's better for students. The viz has been better over the last few years. I don't quite know what's been going on at Stony, but it's been a bit minging there for the last few years. So the viz tends to be better, and I think it's better for students. You've got a very big 6 meter platform that you can keep students on, very safe, and with something to see as well that Stony hasn't got. It's got quite a small 6 meter platform, tends to be where the viz is worse, and there's not a lot to see. So yeah, I do like Capernwray. What I will do is, well, you're one of my VIPs, mate. So I will drop you a line in the VIP group and let you have some dates. But yeah, you're more than welcome to join. If you can get down to Vobs this weekend, then, you know, you're more than welcome to join. I'm actually diving with Jurassic Dive. I'm diving with my friend Wayne, but more than happy to sort of jump in the water with you. Or if you've got some dates, then let me know when you're going, and I will come up and join you, because always up for a dive at Capers, right? Cape and Ray, mate. So that's not a problem. Right, scooching off back down to the bottom then. What's the strangest thing I've seen underwater? Tim's put me. Yeah, I agree. Tim. He wears this really weird lime green hood that's not cool at all. So, but no, only taking the piss there. He does wear a lime green hood though. The weirdest thing I've seen underwater. That's a really good question. There's lots of weird things you see underwater, but what's the weirdest? Um, I'll have to think about that one and come back to you, mate. So I don't want to say like something really benign, and then as soon as the live stream finishes, I go, oh. So yeah, the weirdest thing underwater. Yeah, that's interesting, that one. Strangest thing. Okay. Owen says a molla molla fish. Yeah, do you know, we saw one of them, and it's the only one I've seen, was when we were on the Egyptian liverboard in Egypt. What a moronic thing to say. The liverboard in Egypt, there was one there, and they are a bit weird, aren't they? Just sort of flaking out on the surface, looking a bit spazzy. You know, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, it's they're definitely bizarre. Jurassic Dive, definitely important self-reliant. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to be self-reliant even when you are diving with a buddy, mate. To be honest with you, self-reliance is quite important. If you can help yourself out the do, then why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Your buddy's there as a last resort and backup. Absolutely. Sorry. But yeah, always self-reliant. Solo diver is nice if the experience. Look after yourself. Yeah, Matt, I 100%. It's not for new divers, and they certainly shouldn't do it, and I wouldn't recommend it. And until what, I'm 11 years in now, until I went over to twin sets, I wouldn't have done it. To be honest with you, it's only when you get to that kind of level where you've got independent gas sources, you've got that side sung stage on you, where you've got that kind of confidence in your kit and your abilities, just to go, what, it doesn't really matter. Right, what else we got then? It's always rich. Yeah, so I mean, Jurassic. So Wayne, yeah, it's flipped that on its head. So it's really nice to share an experience to dive with somebody, and it is. It's nice to come up and have that chat and say, "Oh, did you see that?" And "Oh, did you see that?" kind of, and I do get that as well. And that's probably one of the things that I do enjoy about teaching. I do enjoy taking students in for their first dives. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, just showing them things and seeing the wide-eyed for the first time. I remember Dean. You've seen Dean on a few of the videos, and he's been a good buddy, and he's sort of come up with me, kind of thing. I remember taking him on the Falmouth out of the North Sea, and it was his first time, and it was kind of frustrating for me. It was my bad, because it was fantastic viz. Now, if you know the Falmouth off the east coast, she's about 18 meters. I think she's a World War One destroyer, but again, don't hold me to that. But she's 18 meters. The viz off the east coast is normally shite, because it's washing all the soil or the land away. We've got a lot of land erosion. And if you stand on the top of like Bridlington, you look out to sea, like the first 2 miles is just mud, and then it's a bit of blue. So the viz is not great. And the first time I took Dean in, the viz was superb, absolutely fantastic. You got sort of 20, 25 meters worth of viz. I've never seen it like that before or after, to be honest with you. So I was like, right, I'm going to view this. And we're finning around, and every 10 seconds, the dickhead's pulling me fin. And I'm like, what? And he's showing a starfish, a bloody end. He's like, for God's sake, mate, it's a starfish. Do you know what I mean? But it was his first time seeing a starfish. Do you know what I mean? So he just was like, he wondered, look, it's a whelk. Look, it's, a velvet swimming crab. Do you know what I mean? The thing that we just swim by 1,000 times now, because it's like boring seeing it, doesn't it? So, I had to sort of rein myself in a little bit on that and go, yeah, do you know what? This is not fair on either of us, really, because I didn't get to see all the wreck that I wanted to see in the good conditions. But, there's always next time. So yeah, it is nice, but I do I do, I do enjoy solo diving from occasion, yeah, as well. Just having that complete freedom to do what I want, to dive what I want, and not have to worry about that other person, check their air, go when they need to go, kind of thing. Um, I don't know. I tend to dive. I like doing long dives, and sometimes they're cutting it shorter because they either run out of air or other things as well. It can be a little bit frustrating, but yeah. So no, I get both sides of it, guys. I really do. Yeah. Finch not been anywhere yet, but going to be at Stony Cove after one more pool session. Uh, yeah, give it a go in the pool next week, mate. Yeah, drop us a line. Got my contact details. Drop us a line on the email, pal. And then yeah, or join up to the club nights, £3 a month. You spend more than coffee. So yeah, we can give you some chat, and you can give you some help on Patreon. You can chat with a lot of the other guys on here as well, who are also happy to help. With one of my VIPs, a young lad called Ben, setting up a twin set, and we give him a lot of advice on that as well. And now he's got it set up, and I'm looking forward to seeing him roll around like a turtle as soon as he gets in as well. So yeah, do have a think about that. But again, trust your instructor in the club. But practice, practice, practice. Okay, just because you're not being taught doesn't mean you get a free weekend or free week, mate. If the pool's open, get yourself in there, get yourself in with a kit, and get practicing. I'm a firm believer in play. You know what I mean? Go and here's Ben here. Look, yeah, there you are. You're going to see us all on Saturday. Are you bringing the twin? So Ben, this is the lad I was just talking about who has just set up a twin set. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Are you bringing it on Saturday, Ben, or are you singling? So anyway, well, I'll carry on. So Gordon with the SMB. Do you know, Tim? That would be a weird thing to see, wouldn't it? But I've never seen Gordon in the water with an SMB. Why is that? Plan is to bring it on Saturday. Good man, Ben. Good man. We'll have a play. See how you've done. So I see Gordon's just blown. Tim, what have me and my DSMB? So, private joke here, guys, that I'm going to share. So, me, Tim, and Gordon, I'm just editing the video, and I've been super busy with other things, but it's half done. So, it's the next video to come out. We went up to the farms. We went, did a bit of a VIP weekend, and we had an absolute great time. But Gordon's a bit of a lazy sod when it comes to launching his DSMB for one reason or another. So we did 4 dives, and I don't think the Tart launched his DSMB not even once, even when I deliberately abandoned him on the 4th dive to force him to do it. All he did was swim around until he found somebody else in the group was putting theirs up, and it was quite funny. Me and Tim were pissing ourselves because we were saying, "Oh yeah, he's going to have to launch his DSMB now." And then lo and behold, he popped up with another couple of divers. The first thing he did was like, "Yeah, I win," kind of thing. So yeah, he's a dickhead, but he really was. It really was quite funny, and we did enjoy it, and it was a good weekend. So yeah, roll on for many more of them, and I will get him. Bloody hell, Gordon says he had to use it twice last weekend as he got lost. Mate, if I've not got a video of it, I don't believe it. It's as simple as that, mate. So I just don't believe you. Did you have to use finger spool as well? But yeah. So anyway, so back up to the top. Jurassic dive. So Wayne's asked again, what made me get into diving? Yeah, I think I've probably explained this before, mate. But the short version of is I guess I'm part of the generation that used to sit there and watch Attenborough every weekend on the BBC or IT. No, it was definitely the BBC. It was the BBC. Going around the world and doing cool stuff and doing diving and all that kind of thing. And I always wanted to do it. I remember, my mum, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said underwater camera. That's what I wanted to do. But I wasn't part of a family that had got the kind of resources to do that. Back in the early 90s, that was never going to be an option. And then life got in the way. I got fat, and then it knocks your confidence and so on and so forth, doesn't it? And I didn't think scuba diving was for me. And weirdly, so about 11 years ago, just moved to Yorkshire, moved over from Norfolk. So I lived in Aberystwyth, which is in Wales, if you don't know, which is right on the coast. Didn't see a single scuba diver. Moved to Norfolk, lived in a little village there, right on the coast. Didn't see a single bloody diver. Dive club, nothing. Didn't hear about them. Moved to Yorkshire, the arse end of nowhere, about as far away from the sea as you can get. There's bloody hundreds of them around here. So what it was, and then literally just chance. My brother messaged me, and he'd gone on Voucher, I think it was, like one of these voucher apps, Voucher, and there was just a voucher for our local dive centre, which is Roho, Robin Hood Water Sports, and it was kind of 50 quid, and you get to do your PADI, your first couple of e-learning lessons or whatever it was at the time, and then like day one, like the hook thing. And he said, "Oh, do you fancy doing that?" And by this point, I got to that age that we all get to, and all you young people will not understand this, but the people of a certain age will understand. You get to a point where you just think, "Ah, fuck it, I don't care what anybody thinks of me now. I'm fat and I'm going to be in neoprene, and the world's just going to have to deal with it." So that's what. So I just got to the point, and I thought, yeah, do you know what? I fancy giving it a go. We rocked up to the day. There was supposed to be 16 people turn up. There was me and my brother, so there was two. So Rowan paid for this instructor to be there, and they weren't going to earn enough money to pay him, because you didn't have to pay up front. You kind of you paid your 50 quid, but then there was a bit more to pay. So basically they run around like headless chickens and come back up to us and said, look, if you can, if you're happy to pay another 100 quid, we'll just do the whole lot. So we did all 5 confined water dives, all the theory and everything in one day. I got smashing at it by the end of it, but I was super pleased. A couple of weekends later, we went to Cape and Ray, did it all again in Cape and Ray, and that was me hooked. I absolutely loved it. And that's how I kind of fell into BSAC as well, because obviously, I'd just done this, new skill. I'd just learned these new skills. I'd just been introduced to this new fantastic underwater world where being fat didn't make any difference. You know what I mean? Gravity could go do one, and it was absolutely fabulous. And then, of course, there's no one to dive with, because diving centres don't take you diving. They teach you, they get paid to do courses. An analogy I always use is, it's like when you pass your driving test. As soon as you pass your driving test, you don't say to your instructor, "Hey, do you want to go out for a drive on Sunday? We'll drive into the mountains." And, no, of course you don't bloody do that. So why do you expect your commercial instructor to do the same? So I was just left with nobody to dive with. So scooching around, I found those horrible things called dive forums, which I don't recommend anybody go to. But fortunately, somebody somebody did point me in and said, "Have you heard of BSAC?" Well, no one's heard of BSAC. That's our problem with BSAC, is no one's heard of it, and it's a stupid name because it's the British Sub-Aqua Club, which could mean anything. Anyway, a bit of research, and I thought, oh, this is actually a scuba diving club. And weirdly, there was one literally right around the corner. So I lived for years on the coast, didn't see anybody, like I say, around here, just around the corner, like, yeah, no problem. And loads. It's not just Pontefract, there's loads around here. So yeah, interesting. So that's it. That was it was pure chance, absolute pure chance. Something I'd always fancied doing, but pure chance getting into it at that point. So yeah, I'm very thankful that happened. So that's that one. Yeah. Tim's just saying that I'm talking about his cool hood. Definitely, mate. Love it. You definitely got mission it. That's absolutely, which is the whole point, isn't it? What piece of dive equipment had you purchased in the past, and which you had not, and which do you wish you had kept? Again, another comment from Wayne. Is like full of questions today, isn't it? What? So which bit's been crap, and which bit hasn't been crap, and what have I wish I'd kept? What have I sold? I wish I kept my twins. That doesn't mean I don't like the Horizon. I do like the Horizon, and me and the Horizon are fast forming a love relationship now. I'm getting there with it, and I'm starting to like it. But I really love the twins. Yeah, I really love twin set diving. I love my twins. I put a lot of time and effort setting them up and getting them just right, and they just let me do such fabulous diving that they're always going to have a little spot in my heart. To be honest with you, I loved them. Yeah, absolutely loved them. I became a diver, if you know what I mean, on twins, fully rounded, fully functional diver. So yeah, I do kind of. They probably just sit outside collecting dust, to be honest with you. But I kind of wish they were, just in case I did ever want to use them. Yes, now, but unfortunately, finances and space constraints mean that they had to go to make way for the Horizon, and I'm glad that they have at the moment. I'm not regretting the purchase of the Horizon at all. It's taken a little bit longer to fall in love with it, but it's a bit bigger leap than going from single set to twin set. Is going from twin set to rebreather. It's quite a bit more full on, and I'm not sure I quite appreciated that when I made the decision. So that's the bit of kit that I kept. What bit of kit has been crap? Well, I bought all kinds of crap at some point. Do you know what? I'm gonna bash Apex again. Yeah, I think my worst purchase was the VX1 mask. When I chucked my X Deep overboard accidentally, and I got suckered into the marketing. I did. I got suckered into the marketing. I know a load of people that got them, raved about them, and I checked in. I thought this could be brilliant, and it was just a very expensive average mask. And demonstrated by the fact that you could buy an Aqualung phaser for 40 quid that was exactly the same mask. In fact, my wife owns the Aqualung phaser because she's got a small little dinky nose, so it didn't bother her. So and it's a perfectly solid average mask. It is not 120 quid mask that it was when it first got bought. And again, it's got all this. Oh, it's got smooth bits and it's got matte bits, and it's bollocks. It's just all shite. So yeah, that was because. And the only reason I say that is so I literally bought it, cleaned it, went diving it once, sold it, and that was it. So, and I can't think I've ever done that with any other piece of equipment. So yeah, shitting on Apex today. Sorry, Apex. I don't mean to. It's just you need to look at your masks. So, what else you got? So Ben, bring on Saturday. Yeah, cool. Looking forward to seeing that, mate. We'll get you in a cage and watch the great white sharks. And no, Owen, I'm not. I'm not doing great white sharks on in South Africa. I'm going over to the east side of the country, and weirdly, and the reason I say this is I was going to. That was the original plan because this was supposed to happen pre-COVID, and the original plan was to go and do 2 weeks, but we'd do a week down in Cape Town, where we would do the cage with the white sharks, and then we were going to go over to Durban. However, in the last 2.5 years, talking to some of the operators, the great whites are no longer there. The reason being is this pod of orca seems to have taken up residence, and various reports have said they have either killed off all the white sharks or they have bullied off all the white sharks. So the white sharks are no longer in South Africa in great enough numbers to guarantee reasonably a chance of going and seeing them. I mean, they are still dotted around there. In fact, where I'm going to dive in Umkomaas, so at an Oliwell Shoal, they put a video on their Facebook page last week, it was maybe the week before, of a small male white shark cruising through when they were diving open kind of thing. And you saw the divers going this white shark. I mean, they're diving with other sharks. Why they were so terrified of the white shark, I don't know. But yeah, it was only a small one, so presumed to be his a male. But yeah, but the ones where you go out with a tourist boat sort of at the cage between that island that escapes me, the island where all the seals live. Yeah, they're just apparently not there anymore. So it didn't seem much point going down there when we could see the same sharks over on the east side and just save a bit of money. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. So no, unfortunately, no white sharks. So then I started having to think about going over to Guadalupe and seeing them over there, and then lo and behold, the bloody closed Guadalupe because you got all the stupid tight-arsed female TikTokers and bloody Instagram free divers going down and touching them and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So the Mexican government just said, well, we're closing that as well. So well done them. So at the minute, if you want to go and see white sharks, I'm not sure where to go. So if anybody knows and has got any recommendations of somewhere that's still open you can get to, then I'll be very interested to hear about it because, yeah, at the minute, unless it's completely random, you're in a place, like the ocean, then yeah, it's a bit stuck. So yeah, there we are. Classic, yes, it was quite fun. I had to use it twice at the weekend. I don't believe you, Gordon. And the finger spool you had to use as well. There we are. Finch saying anyone got the link for the Patreon? Yeah, I think it's something like www.patreon.com/UKDiver, mate. It should be in the link to in the description of all my latest videos. Anyway, I've probably been, I can't remember how long we've been doing it for now, maybe 4 or 5 months. So if you look at the new stuff, there's a link down there. Again, if you can't find it, mate, drop me an email. I will send you the link. Yeah, Tim's taking the mick out on there. It was a funny weekend, guys. Needed another derby at some point. Yes, well, do you know what? Matt, I've not been to Stony in months. In fact, it could well have been the last time that I was there. I was down with you anyway, mate. So, yeah, we do need to. We do need to get something in, mate. Absolutely sure. Warm Apple. This is my friend Ian, club member Ian. So that mask looks sexy. I reckon. I'm pulling it. I reckon you're pulling it, mate, as well. I do. Like I say in the video, mate, I just can't. You can't knock the style in. I just still don't know what you need stainless steel reinforcing around the outside for, and I don't know why I paid 145 quid. To be honest with you, even if you bought it off Amazon, mate, I don't know why you pay 105 quid for it. It's the box more than anything, mate. You can't forgive that box, how fucking useless it is, and how just it's just garbage. Yeah, I just don't know. It's that more than anything. You know, you buy a mask that's, even what did you pay for your what were the VX ones? 120 quid. And then you're going to buy a 499 beaver box to put it in because the sexy box that, needless to say, is very expensive to produce and make is just utter shite. It's unforgivable. It really is. It's just selling you it's just mis-selling you stuff. It's selling you shite, and it's yeah. And this is Apex. Apex used to be the ones that they would not do it unless it had some practical, decent application, and they made it look good. Whereas now it's just about looking good, and there's not really an explanation of why they're doing these things, or even honesty. So you do need to buy because you need two now. So you do need to buy another box. So yeah, it's more that for me. And again, it's not just Apex with this greenwashing as well, where they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes and they wrap stuff in a bit of cardboard and call it green. Do you know what I mean? If you want to be super green, then stop scuba diving because the scuba diving is not green. You go on a boat that burns diesel, you cover yourself in bloody rubber and plastic and all this kind of stuff. There's not one of us here that can claim that we're green because we're really not. If you want to be green, then we need to stop doing it. Okay, we need to stop going in. But that's not what I'm saying. But what irritates me is the fake greenery. Do you know what I mean? That gets on my wick a little bit as well. So just what it is. But yeah, I think you're looking hot in it, mate, in Scapa. If you don't know, Ian's off to Scapa next week. He's not mentioned it before, so. But yeah, he's off to Scapa on Saturday. If you didn't know. James from Raid is a witness, and he said was one of my buddy on deployment. Oh, okay, right. I'll drop him an email, Gordon. I'll just check see if he's got any photos. Matt Robinson, good to meet you. The dive show earlier in the year. Any thoughts on the UK shows? Have they all disappeared? Hiya, Matt. Yeah, if I did meet, I met a lot of people, mate. So I don't remember you. I remember faces. Obviously, I can't see your face. I'm really not good with names. So if I could see your photo, I would recognise you, but I don't know who you are. But anyway, it was good to meet everybody at the show. I had an absolute blast. I didn't get to see any of the stuff I wanted to go and see because I was just swarmed with well wishers and people that follow the channel and just having a good chat with people. And I loved it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Weird for me. It's just a bit odd. Being recognised and that kind of thing. It's still a little bit weird, but. Yeah, it was absolutely fun. I had an absolute blast. The UK shows. Do you know what? Mark from the dive. What's his name? Mark Powell. I think he's really trying. I think he's really trying with this. I just think it's tough. When I was over, so this year I've done Boot and the UK Dive Show, and I've been wanting to do Boot for a while. Just because, like I say, live in my fantasy of because if I win the Euro Millions, I know exactly what I'm doing with it, and it involves a very large and expensive yacht. So with the Boot Show, you kind of I thought you got to go and see the yachts. You didn't. What you do is you get to see the yachts from a distance, from behind security. If you want to be made to feel poor and really sort of inconsequential, then go to the boot show and hang around the super yacht bit because you'll get that feeling like you're just insignificant. You're not worth the air that you're breathing. So that was a bit weird. But the dive show bit was, if you remember dive shows from when I first started diving 11 years ago, and there were big multi sort of hall things, and there was loads of vendors, loads of knick-knack sellers, loads of all kinds of stuff. People would save their money to go to the dive show and get a dive show discount, and that's all gone. there's hardly anybody selling anything. There's lots of manufacturers there, like waterproof. They're there, but they don't sell anything. You can't buy any gloves off them. You can't buy the hood off them on the thing. They're just there showing it. Halcyon were there, and all these kind of things. But quite often you can't buy anything from them anymore, and because the retailer's just not there. Now, while I was in Boot, the retailers are all there. All these people that you used to see at the UK Dive Show are there. And I sort of said to him, I said, well, are you thinking of doing the UK dive shows? Nope. And why? One word, and I don't want to get into politics. Brexit. It's just too much paperwork because they've got to like pay import duty and everything they've got in the back of the van, and then they've got to like claim it back when they go back. And they just said it's just too much bureaucracy. So they're just not. It's just not worth them coming over, which is sad and a little bit insane, isn't it? And then you talk to like Roho. Roho always used to have a stand at the NEC one. Didn't do the last one and haven't done any others for the simple reason um, the pandemic's meant that they can't get a lot of stock, which means they've got nothing to bring. And then just the retail space that they have to rent is phenomenally expensive. So not only have you not got stock, you need to shift a load of stuff to even make it worth going. And again, it's just not worth them going. Then there's also considerations about footfall and all that kind of thing, which I think the last year's show kind of demonstrated that actually there is an appetite for a dive show still. Now, I think there is. I love a UK dive show, not particularly because of the talks, although they're important. Not, it's just a great place to meet people, great place to meet you guys, meet you, Matt, and all that kind of stuff. And then just meet up with people that meet up with people you've not seen for a while. And it's that, and it's the bar and it's to sit down and have a chat and catch up and see what crazy shit people have been up to. So, yeah, I love a UK dive show for that. And that's what thing I missed at the Boot Show. The Boot Show, although it's very spectacular, it's very big, the pool they've got is absolutely superb. Next to the sad little paddling pool that they have at the UK dive show, look pathetic. It's very glitzy, it's very glam, but it's a little bit soulless because you don't know anybody there. You literally walk around and it's very, very much because obviously I've got the UK diver thing on. Don't know me at all overhead. You know what I mean? And they all think I've got a shop, so they want to sell me stock, which is the last thing I want because I can't have my house full of stuff. They both got the pros and cons, but I hope that the UK dive show continues, but I don't know how they get over the bits they can't control. Mark Powell can't control Brexit. He can't control customs and import duties and tariffs and paperwork and stuff like that. And it's not the UK show itself that's putting these off, it's the bureaucracy of getting in. So it's, yeah, for or against it, it doesn't really matter. It's what's been done's done, and it's not been great. So yeah, certainly from us. So yeah, I hope it continues, but I just don't know. So just note, you guys, we're at about an hour now, so I'll take a few more here. So good to meet you, the dive show. Yeah, favorite dive computer. Again, for Jurassic, don't mind. It's the OSTC Sport. The only reason I like it is because it's mine. It's got all my logs on it. I bought that because it was color screen. A member of the club had the OSTC2, and I was there with some Sunto Viper, something or other. I can't quite remember. I think it was just the straight up Viper. And we were diving, and she was sort of 3 meters this way, and I was looking at my wrist, and I could look over and read her dive computer, and I couldn't see mine here. So, which I thought was ridiculous. So I thought, right, I want one of those. So I did a bit of research. The Shearwaters, good dive computers. Again, I think they're kind of the apex of dive computers. I think they're a bit golden bollocks at the moment. I think they're overpriced. I think they're good. They do what they do, but I think if you can get an OSTC for literally 50% and it kind of does the same stuff, I don't know why people are buying Shearwaters. I really don't. They're a fad thing. They're a good dive computer. I'm not knocking them at all. That I'm sure they do exactly what they say on the tin. They're just fabulously expensive. Fabulously expensive. So yeah, that's my favorite one, mate, because that's what I own. If I owned a Shearwater, I'd say Shearwater. So yeah, so there's my OSTC. I love that, and I love me Morris Horizon computer because it's attached to my Morris Horizon. So that was a nice, easy one as well. Which reminds me, yeah, so Warm Apple does need to buy another box for his new his new very expensive master that comes with it. Matt, I'm the short arse, permanently legless. Oh yes, Matt. Okay, right. You've put me. Yes, I do remember you, mate. Yeah, and it was good to meet up with you, and it was good to chat as well. Yeah, I agree. It is sad times, and I do hope they find a way to expand. I don't think. I just think it's really going to be really difficult because there's nobody in the these big retailers here. Sorry, the big retailers over in Germany who are coming from all over Europe with their boxes and knickknacks are not coming here. And with dive shops like Simply Scuba going down the pan, my local one, Scuba Leeds, has gone down the pan. I believe there was one up in Teesside the other week go down the pan. Um, we're not going to get these people from the UK. There's just not, there's no one here left. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. I really don't. I think he's got a bit of an uphill struggle. I don't think it's ever going to get back to this place where you save your scuba pennies and save it for the dive show to get a dive show deal. I think those days are gone. Um, Unfortunately, I think that's sad, but I think it's unfortunately. So I think you just have to focus on quality speakers, quality content, and perhaps trying to tempt some of these. Matt, come on, who makes the Sidewinder? Is that Kiss? The Kiss Sidewinder. So they launched the Sidewinder 2 at Boot, you know what I mean? So that generated a lot of interest. You also had the guys from, was that OSTC? The guys from OSTC were demonstrating their new Kiss head that's using some of Poseidon's solid state O2 sensors. So these O2 sensors that don't degrade like standard O2 sensors, so they should be much more reliable, uh, much more durable, and don't get too upset about getting wet. So they are launching all those kind of things at Boot. I think what the UK needs to do is try and steal some of that away and say, okay, we need to be the premier ones where these companies that are releasing innovations, you don't want to do it at Boot, you want to do it at at the UK Dive Show because that's where it's at. That's an uphill struggle as well. I've got to be honest. So yeah, a lot of people I spoke to said the Boot show is better than Dema, and kind of the US do everything big, don't they? So that was quite interesting. A few comments there saying it was better, but they definitely do. The manufacturers at the moment are saving their goodies to launch at Boot, and I think they need to try and break that and sort of get some of them coming over to the UK as well to try and generate that bit of interest. But yeah, I can't see the retailers coming back, not unless we warm back up to our EU partners. Whether that's, I'm not saying rejoining the EU, but something needs to be sorted with it before they come back. So that's what we do. Hello, Ivory. Not spoken in ages, mate. How are you? The Midwest US is very much like the UK. I'm sad to hear that, mate. I'm sorry. I always thought the US was always good. I know up north, in the islands, and up in the Great Lakes, that kind of thing, that looks very much like UK diving. But when everybody says they dive in the US, I've got to admit, I'm picturing Florida and Miami and all that kind of stuff. It's yeah. So yeah, good. I think. I mean, do you dive dry suit over there? Is it cold or is it just green? That's interesting. UK diving. I've done Anglesey, Milford Haven, and H. And this is from Tom. Hi, Tom. Don't think we've met Tom. If not, hi. UK diving. Anglesey. Yeah, I've done Anglesey. I like Milford. I love Milford Haven. Love Milford. Love Pembroke. I don't know where H is. So is that Chesil where I should try next? If you on about Chesil or anywhere down the south coast, mate, then the guy who's commenting below you, Jurassic Diver, he's your man. He's your man. So because that's where he's based. Jurassic Diver's on the Jurassic coast. Ah, okay, H right, sorry. Yeah, Chesil. So you do Chesil, so there you are. So you must have bumped into Jurassic Diver at some point down there. So that's your man. I love the South Coast. I love all over the UK. I've got to be honest with you. There's very few places. Cornwall is about the only place I won't go back. And that was just I'd planned a very special trip. I'd had it planned for a long time. I'd had it planned for a guaranteed good weekend in August, the August bank holiday this particular year. And got everybody G'd up, big trip. We got down there, and on the Lizard Peninsula on land, you couldn't see Andy in front of your face for the entire weekend. So I'm sorry, screw you, Cornwall. We should like just chisel you off and float you off into the Atlantic where you belong, because I don't like you. We're done. Okay, that's probably a bit harsh, but not going back to Cornwall. 12 hours of driving, all that planning for you. For what, sea mist me in on bank holiday weekend? No. We're done. We're done. Not going there again. So forget it. So that's the only bit I don't go to. Cornwall, not interested. Stick it up your butt. But yeah, cool. Yep. Ivory's come back, so we dive in quarries. Dry suit depth about 40 degrees. Oh, come on, Ivory, don't talk to me in weird. It's about time you Americans adopted the metric system, mate. Come into the real world, come into the new world. What Fahrenheit is so? I don't even know what that. What is Fahrenheit? I'm gonna have to Google that now. What is that in? Come on, somebody put it up quicker than I can. 40 F in C. That's what I want. 4 degrees. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, that is definitely dry suit weather. 4 degrees, mate. That's I've done 2, and it's yeah, I won't be doing it again. I've got to be honest. Not unless it's something really special. I was doing 2 degrees. Well, I actually did -7 this year over the winter during the training season, and I certainly won't be doing that again. We did 2 days, and it got down to -7 in the car, and we had to check because we were diving the day before, everything was like slightly damp. So of course, when we got to the morning, it was frozen solid, and we had to take it out the car and chuck it in the lake to defrost. It was absolutely ridiculous. Will not be doing that again. Yeah, okay. Matt Robinson, what about the pasties? What pasties are on about here? Pasties. Yeah, I like a pasty. I don't know what we're on about there. So 4-hour drive to any dive sites. I'm a bit better than Ivory, to be fair. It's only about 104. It's about an hour and 40 minutes to my local quarries, and the east coast is actually closer. But like I say, the diving is stuck. The UK uses feet and pounds. We haven't used pounds for ages, mate. Sorry. Since we joined the EU, everything's in kilos now, mate. We're definitely kilos. And we still use miles per hour. We measure our own height in feet and inches, but very little else now. But yeah, I guess Tom's right. Older folk use pounds of feet, but they're dying. Cornish pasty. I do like a Cornish pasty, but you know I'm going to go Cornwall to get a Cornish pasty, Matt. No, I'm not. No, I'll. Do you know what? Keep your Cornish pasties. I'll be happy with a cheese and onion pasty, and you float off into the Atlantic and then export pasties, because I'm not, like, seriously, I will never forget. I will never forgive Cornwall for that. You ruined it. So not interested. Keep your Cornish pasties. Yeah, feet and pounds. Yeah, so it is dying over. We still have a pint in the pub, which I guess is imperial. But yeah, measurements are fast going over. Miles per hour will probably never change on the roads over here to kilometers an hour like it is in Europe. So I can't see that changing. But yeah, and height maybe. But the rest of it now is, we don't buy pints of milk anymore. We buy liters of milk, and everything weight wise is in grams and kilos and stuff like that. So just you weirdos over there using Fahrenheit, mate. So not too. But I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Don't worry about it. Don't take it too personally. So you used to be stationed where about 40 years ago, mate? Cornwall? It's unlucky. Shame. Terrible weather. Terrible weather. Thoughts on Egyptian liverboards? Oh, Tom. That's a tough one, mate. Yeah. Thoughts are they need to sort the shit out over there, don't they? So what we had recently, we've had that boat that's turned upside down, and weirdly, one of the subscribers to the channel was on that boat, and if you read the news article on, there was two people trapped underwater as it went down, and it was him and his son. And a absolutely horrific experience. I have reached out to him and said I would like to do an interview because he was talking about, you know, lots of safety issues on the boat that he saw. I'd love to get that, just the story out from a diver's perspective to divers, not just on the news, because I really think that as a group of divers, we we need to start asking more questions and not just go for the cheapest. I mean, you know, this boat had another deck put on it, and they put the deck right over the hatch. So when you opened the hatch, there was a wall behind the hatch. There is no way that boat should have been passed for its safety, and yet it had. Okay, but it's Egypt, isn't it? Everybody slips, everybody, you know, a bit of a backhander, everything's good. When you go on an Egyptian liveaboard, you should not have to worry about whether you're going to survive the boat. Okay, that is not good. You know, so we had the one that rolled over and sank. We then had the day boat that landed up on the reef because the dickhead captain is using his phone for navigation on a boat. Now, again, the rules in Egypt say that every boat must have a discreet and proper nautical GPS. It did, but it didn't work. So how is that boat allowed to operate? Again, it's just cowboy Egypt. And then the poor buggers who literally roasted to death in their cabins. You know, again, I've not heard too much about that. I know people that have been on that boat. I know a lot of people that have been on that boat. I just don't understand how in this day and age that happens when, you know, most these people were just having a lie in. They'd skip the morning dive. But how does something take off that quick that even though the rest of the boat, 23 other people plus crew, are up and awake and they can't get these people out? There's serious questions to answer. But the whole industry over there needs to sort itself out. And do you know what? And this is probably not going to be very popular, but if it ends up costing you an extra couple of £100 because, you know, they're going to have to put these safety, you know, fire suppression systems in and all this kind of stuff, I'm paying it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do not want to roast to death in the middle of the Red Sea when I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. What I will do on the interim is I am going to pay the extra for that room on the top deck. Fuck you all. You can all go down in the bottom decks and have that because it's just not happening. It's been absolutely horrifying. Yeah, and it could just be, you know, I mean, there was somebody say, you know, "Oh, well, these things come in threes, don't they?" Yeah, I don't think that's that. You can't say that to the people that have lost loved ones on what should be a holiday. It's just not good enough, is it? So, yeah, pretty shocking. I hope it shocks him into doing something. My opinion is he's probably not going to. No, it'll just be the same as it's always been. So, um, yeah, just sad times. So yeah, we are. Look, Matt. So he was on Hurricane 5 years before. It was a nice boat. Yeah, they're all nice boats, mate. But you know, they need to be they need to sort the shit out with it. And you know, what was a nice boat 5, 10 years ago needs bringing up into the modern standards, doesn't it? You know, we shouldn't be having this. And it's not just Egypt. You know, there was that big one in California a few years ago, wasn't it, where just about everybody died on that one. Which is you know, horrific as well. So yeah, and it's no good fining people, putting in people in prison after the event. That doesn't help the poor sods that lost their lives. That doesn't do anything. So it's just what it is. Um, yeah, Ivory. I think there should be a governing body. There is safety. They do have on paper, you know, things that they are supposed to do, and boats are not supposed to be allowed out until you know, they've passed these things. But it's Egypt, isn't it? And we bring somebody a few quid in a backhander, and everything's gone. It's just a country of petty corruption all the time. Which is why the place is just a building site all the time. I've got to be honest, the country of Egypt, I'm not a fan of. Okay, if it wasn't for the Red Sea, I wouldn't go there. I've not done the pyramids. I've not done all that kind of stuff. It's just like a lot of countries like that. It's basically a building site. You know, if you get to Hurghada, literally the first thing you do when you get off the plane is they try and rip you off with the visas because they want you from the UK to pay £50 for the visas. Well, it's not £50; it's $50, which is not £50. And you know, there's all these like greasy gringos there, just, you know, holding these fake TUI boards and this, that, and the other, and they just try and so your first experience of Egypt is being ripped off, and the authorities stand there and watch them. Why? Because they're getting a cut. It's just what it is. It's what it is. I'm just not, like I say, if you took the Red Sea and put it anywhere else, I'd go there. Yeah, no, no love particularly for Egypt. I've got to be honest. It's not. I wouldn't go there if you want to put the diving. So yeah, there we are. Controversial. So anything else? So home of the F-35s. You talking warplanes, mate? Not really my bag. That. Yeah, the prices. You probably, you know what? I'd pay a bit more money for a decent, safe dive. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. O2 rich environment, flammable material. Yeah, absolutely, Ivory. But that just means you put more safety protocols in place, doesn't it? And you minimize that risk. You can't say, oh, well, it's more risky without having to do something about it. You know, it's interesting. Yeah, so there we are. Tom Hughes got back from Egypt last week. Absolutely agree. They're the right face when we go straight to the bank desk for visas. Yeah, and absolutely, you should. Anybody thinking of doing it, do not deal with the bullshit. Forget them when they're all waving the signs and they're trying to get your thing, and 50 could just go straight to the bank. They stamp your visa, they take you $50. I took $50. I went to Asda and bought $50 and had a right argument with the guy because he sort of shuffled me. I'm like, it's 50, you know, it's like, oh no, it's £50. It's like, no, it's $50. Look, it says on, you know, because they got the stickers for the thing and it says there, dollars. There's $50, that's $50. You know, and they soon lose interest after a couple of minutes. Oh, you need to go around to the bank, and you go around to the bank and it's just like done and everyone's happy. So yeah, they just walk past the queue of all these dickheads getting scammed. So it's just not great. Not great. It's €25 for a visa. No, it's $25 for a visa. It's all in dollars. So it's $25 each. So for me and the wife, it's $50. So that's what I'm saying. 50. Yeah, it's 50. But it's in dollars, not euros. If they're getting in euros, they're pulling your pants down. I don't know about Mexico and the islands, mate. I'd love to go, but thanks for the tip. Thanks for the tip. So Tom Hughes, it's $25, €25, 25 GDP. I don't know. Every time I've bought it in the airport, guys, it's always been priced in dollars. So $25 is not £25, is it? Yeah. For $50, I paid 38 quid from Asda. So I'm not giving them dollars. Yeah. I'm not giving them pounds, it's dollars. So yeah, but it's always been dollars. If it's euros last month, I don't know. I've not been since April. Well, yeah, it can't be, can it? It can't all be 25. It can't be 25 because it's just non-comparable, is it? Yeah. So yeah, they'll accept all three. One app said that, yeah, well, they'll accept anything. Yeah. They don't like accepting dollars because obviously they don't make anything on that because they have to pay the $25 for the visa. So if they're taking 25 quid off you, they're making 6 or 7 quid every time they sell one, aren't they? So, but yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. But yeah, I didn't know if they're doing one in euros as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I know you can pay if you pre-do it before you fly out there, because you can go do it through the Egyptian embassy, but that's all a bit sketchy as well. And again, probably more faff than what people can bother with. So, but yeah, that's it anyway. Right, guys, we're coming up an hour and 22 minutes. I think I've rambled on enough. Thank you for coming tonight. I really do appreciate it. It is all a little bit weird, this, trying to read this and then trying to talk to you guys as well. But I do like it. Like I say, it's probably not going to be another one through to winter. If you do enjoy this kind of thing and you enjoy a bit more interaction, then do get yourself on the Patreon site. Like I say, www.patreon.com/UKDiver. Like I say, if you just want to come and do the film night, what am I talking about? The online club nights, £3 a month. Okay, it's a cup of coffee, guys. So get yourself involved. If you want the full VIP treatment, which is WhatsApp, another more intimate meeting, first invites to trips, you can buy me woolly hats, all that kind of stuff, then, please do think about signing up on the VIP page. I've got one space left currently. Perhaps if my VIPs agree, we might expand the group out. But again, I do want to give it the VIP treatment. So that's there if you want. Other than that, if it's not your thing, then please do continue liking the videos and watching the videos and giving it a thumbs up as well. Because again, it really does let me know that you like what I'm doing. So that feedback's really important. So I really do appreciate a like. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. But other than that, guys, if the Patreon's not your thing, then I will see you in winter and we'll do another Q&A session after I get back from South Africa. And I've got a a small series of videos planned for that. So do stay tuned for that as well. If you can make it to Vobster on Saturday, I will see you there. The car will be there with my UKDiver flag that I'm very pleased with. I've got to be honest. So if you do see it, do come and say hi. Do come and shout out, have a chat with me. I'm perfectly normal guy. We're not going to Cornwall, Matt. Go away. So so that's that. So, all right then, guys, I'm going to sign off now. Have a very pleasant evening. Have a cracking weekend and have a fabulous UK dive season. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.